Hello, this is a tutorial on using a Google educational app product called Google Hangouts. Hangouts actually has two components. We're going to briefly talk about both of them. We're just going to demonstrate one. Google Hangouts is a video conferencing or video call built-in app that's part of the Google product line, and it's free. You can have up to 15 people participating in a video call at the same time. The other aspect of Google Hangouts is called Google Hangouts on Air, HOA, Hangouts on Air. That's what we're actually going to train here today. Hangouts on Air, the only difference between Hangouts and Hangouts on Air is that HOA allows you to capture every single thing that happens on the screen. So if you needed it for documentation or you wanted to have it available so that it can be a just-in-time resource, people can watch it over and over and over again. So it's kind of like WebEx or a Skype call. You have the ability to capture everything that goes on the screen if you're using Hangouts on Air. In order to get access to Hangouts on Air, you need to establish your Google Plus account. So since you are involved with Baker College, you have a Google Plus piece. And so Google Plus you can get to from any of your Google checkerboard apps, whether you're in your Gmail or you're in your Drive or what have you. But I think an easier way, especially when you want to use Hangout and capture everything, is to go through your YouTube account. So I am in my Baker College YouTube account. I'm just going to click on the upload button. And this area over here, Google Hangouts on Air, I'm going to click on that. And that's going to bring up my Hangouts on Air screen. So I have the ability to give this particular Hangout or this video conference, web conference, a name. I can give it a description if I want. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. I can start it right now, or I can establish a Hangout on Air date and time for later on. I could have this start a half hour from now, an hour from now. I could have it start tomorrow. But for right now, I'm going to do the start now. The audience needs to be determined. You can actually invite people who you would like to participate in this conference call with you. You can add people. The default is generally going to be to public, which means that this particular video conference is available to anyone. You may not want that, so just X out and eliminate that. I have a Baker College circle. I don't need all those people to see that. But I can invite somebody if I want, or there are other places that I can invite them as well, and I'll show you that in a second. So I have somebody here that I've invited, and I'm going to say share. So my Hangout on Air training for Baker College, that's this particular box in my Google Plus. I'm now in my Google Plus app right here. And so all I have to do to start this Hangout is to click on the start. So why would I want to use Hangouts on Air? Well, maybe I want to collaborate with some other people or share some content with them. We're all located in various places, but we would like to not only collaborate and share together, but we would like to capture everything that happens on the screen. It also is great for training purposes or demonstration. If you have a process that you want to walk through, you can actually have that process document on the screen, and then you can talk right over the top of it, as well as those that are participating in the conference itself with you. So I'm going to do the start on air. Slide this screen over into my capture window here. And I have an ability to add some additional guests if I want to. Let's say I thought of somebody, or we have the ability to put somebody in here once we're rolling. So I'm going to skip this particular step for right now. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so it slides in my capture box here. So notice this is me down in the corner here. Now I've popped up to the big box here. Once I have stuff going on the screen, if there's somebody else talking that's in part of the conference call, or if I'm showing documents or anything else on the screen, I'm going to show up in this little box down here in the right corner. So let's take a look at the screen we have here. You'll notice these green dots moving. That's my volume. You want to make sure that's moving so that you're actually capturing your audio. If this isn't moving, you may accidentally have it on mute, so you're going to want to check that. Once I hit the Start Broadcasting button, it will be getting my screen and this particular capture ready to go. It'll eventually turn to a Stop Broadcasting button. The off air is going to actually turn to on air. And so while it's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the other buttons here. This visual here of a person with a plus sign, that allows me to add somebody. So if this conference is going and then we're having a conversation and somebody says, you know, who really should be here is Mary. I have the ability to invite Mary right during the conference. We can mute the microphone, we can mute the camera, we can test our bandwidth usage, we can actually adjust this, make it a little bit better or not so crisp, which would make a smaller file size, but it might be good enough for what you need. There's additional settings, and this is hang up or leave the call when you're done. There's some other tools over here that we're going to talk about in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Start Broadcast. And it says go live. You're about to broadcast live on Google Plus and YouTube. That's the nice feature about this, is when we're done with our broadcast, this thing is going to be automatically archived and saved in our Baker College YouTube account. So once it's in there, then we got access to sending it to people. We can email it out, we can share it, we can take it in and embed it in various things like Blackboard and other, things that we may want to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. Now notice now it's changing to go live. We're starting. And we now say this Hangout on air is live. So as you notice, it took a few seconds, so you're going to want to make sure you get this before you actually start into whatever your presentation is going to be. You don't want to cut off any of the information at the front that might be relevant to people. Whenever I need to stop this broadcast, I would just hit this particular button. But I'm going to talk about a couple of other tools over here. To the left on the top here, this is a chat feature. If I click on this, I actually have created this chat window on this right side where people can enter any chat information, instant message type of a thing here, and then the whole conversation is going to show up here, and you'll be able to have that conversation archived as you go through. I'm going to get rid of that for right now. I think one of the other ones that I think is much more relevant to working in a collaborative fashion with some other people is the ability to share your screen. So the second item down here, this arrow in this green box, is called Screen Share. And what Screen Share does is it allows you to pull up multiple things on the screen and have everybody on the far end, anybody who is participating in your call, to actually view those things. And then, again, because we're doing Hangouts on air, everything that you put on the screen is captured. So if you're putting together a tutorial, some training pieces, or showing a process, every single move that you make along with all of the words that you say can actually be captured, and then it becomes a just-in-time resource. So if I click on Screen Share, it's going to show a number of the screens that I have open. So maybe I got a document here, so I just click on this particular document, go over here and hit Share, and there's my document in the screen. And again, I can move it around, I can actually talk about it, I can change some of the text here, and everybody else is instantly going to see what I do, and again, it's all captured. So I'm going to go back to my video capture window here, and we'll do that again. I'm just going to click over here to pull up my toolbar again. There's some other features in here that you're going to have to play with. They're a little bit more advanced, not for the purposes of our training piece today. So again, go back to the screen capture. I'm going to pull up something else, another window that I had open that I wanted to share. This happens to be a website, and again, this website is live, so you can see things are linked, and I can click on them and pull them up as well. So the ability to capture everything that we have that's going on the screen, and again, if there were other people who were in this particular webcast and they are talking as well, you're going to have kind of, thumbnails, if you will, of everybody who's participating that has a webcam, and that way whoever talks is going to come central to the screen, and the other people are going to be thumbnails kind of bordering your particular image here. So once you're all done, we're going to click Stop Broadcast. And you can see that it's stopping, broadcast has successfully terminated, and so forth. So at this particular point you may be wondering, okay, that's great, but you know, where does it all go? Well, what happens is, because Google and YouTube are kind of synonymous, Google actually owns YouTube, all of the information, the webcam that we've captured, and all of the pieces of the material in the webcam, so anything that we pulled up on the screen, is instantly saved to your Baker College YouTube account. Once there, you can grab the link, you can grab the embed code, you know, it's there, it's in your account, and you've captured it. So that's a really neat feature. So I'm going to pause here for a second and pull up my YouTube account so you can actually see where this video is at. Okay, I've now logged into my YouTube channel, actually just to my YouTube account, and what I'm going to do is go over here to the left to My Channel, and I'm going to click on My Channel, and then I'm going to go over to this toolbar here, and I'm going to click on Videos, because we're now on my home page, and HOA Training for Baker College. So this is that particular video, so I can pull it up and grab the embed code, grab the link, whatever I need to do. I have other videos, that training videos and tutorials that I've posted that shows you how to do that. That's not really the purpose for this particular piece of training, but that's all there is to it. That is Google Hangouts on Air. Remember, Hangouts works the same way, you just don't capture it. It's just a way to instantly create a video conference with up to a total of 15 people at one time. And then there is Hangouts on Air, which is the exact same thing, except you can capture every single thing that happened during the video conference. So hopefully this was helpful for you.